Good morning. In accordance with sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. My name is Larry Clay and I'll be chairing today's session. Panel members today are Zahir Bayat, Phil Ghosh, and Nazilla West, who will be joining us shortly. Our Deputy Secretary Treasurer today is Sabrina Salatino. We acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabeg, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid and in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submissions in person, while others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connecting with their computer or telephone and have the option of participating via video or audio only. When your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must first fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto Local Appeal Body or, in some limited circumstances, to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons and public bodies are permitted to appeal decisions. Appeal instructions are set out in the bottom of the decision. Today, I'll call each item in order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired. When the committee does not require a presentation, the applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions and/or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee, and I'll comment when you're reaching the 5-minute mark. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept new materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address, and remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and make a presentation of the committee. Then, individuals either in support or opposed will be invited to speak. Generally, we call first on speakers in the hearing room and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation, and when all speakers are finished, the applicant has an opportunity to rebut those issues raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion. The application will be taken into committee for a decision. Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer, are there any minutes to confirm from previous meetings?
Good morning, Mr. Chair and panel members. Yes, the April 30th. Minutes are ready for adoption.
Great, thank you. I'll move adoption of those minutes. Do I have a seconder? Phil? Mr. Ghosh, all in favor? Those minutes are adopted. Are there any declarations of interest on the panel for the morning session or staff? None? Any files to be closed this morning?
Through you, Mr. Chair, see none.
And any deferral requests for this morning?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have one deferral request, item number 7. Municipal address is 111 Russell Hill Road, file number A0168/25TEY. We could probably deal with that item at this time.
Okay, thank you. All right. Number 7, 111 Russell Hill Road. This is an application to alter the existing 3-story detached dwelling by constructing a complete 4-story addition, front cantilever 2-story additions, a side 3-story addition, a rear 4-story addition, and front and rear 4th floor patios, and a rear at-grade patio. Committee has before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a cover letter from the agent, an arborist report, and staff reports from urban forestry and ravine and natural feature protection.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members. I'm Andrew Dales, 147 Liberty Street.
Good morning, sir. You're requesting a deferral this morning.
Yes, yesterday we became aware of a report from Urban Forestry recommending refusal of variances 4, 5, and 8, as there were concerns with potential impacts on trees W and I. And we'd like to take some time to consult with Urban Forestry staff and the consulting arborist retained by my client to hopefully work something out to protect those trees.
That's great. Thanks very much. All right, panel. Can I get a motion for defer?
Just before...
You have a question?
I do.
All right.
When I was reading the arborist report, your client's consulting arborist report, it also mentioned that these two trees were on neighboring properties and that they should speak with the neighbors. So I would just like to make the suggestion that you also spend some time during the deferral to do that, because if this were before us again, I would be asking what consultation you had with the neighbors.
Yes, just to let you know, we've have had some conversations with the neighbor to the south. They do support the proposal, but we'll certainly pick up that conversation and have another chat with the neighbor to the south about the tree specifically. And to the north, it's an apartment building, so we'll contact the owner of the apartment building and have that conversation as well.
Okay, great, thanks. I'm happy to move deferral.
Okay, motion to defer by Mr. Ghosh, seconded by Mr. Byatt. All in favor? You have your deferral, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
All right, that's it, Sabrina?
Through you, Mr. Chair, yes, that's all I see for this morning.
Okay, let's go back to item number 1. 699 Bloor Street West. This is an application to alter the existing 3-story mixed-use building by reconstructing the rear 2nd-story addition and to construct a rear 3rd-story covered terrace. There will be one eating establishment that will occupy the ground floor and basement, and 3 residential dwelling units that will occupy the 2nd and 3rd floors of this building. Committee has before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevation, 6 photographs of the subject property, covering letter from the agent, previous decision number affecting the subject property, an authorization letter from the applicant, rental housing demolition and conversion declaration of use and screening form from the agent, and correspondence in opposition from 701 Bloor Street West.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent here in person, no registered speakers for this item.
Mr. Bader.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Robert Bader, B-A-D-E-R. My address is 38 Albany Street, that's in South Etobicoke, M8V1X2, and I'm here representing the owners in respect of this application.
Sir, you're seeking, it's FSI only you're seeking today?
A single loan minor variance requesting 0.09 additional.
Okay, that probably qualifies as one of the smallest variances we've seen. But your neighbor has raised some concerns about drainage next door.
Yes, we became aware of that a couple of weeks ago with the letter of opposition that was submitted, and we've been attempting to reach out through the owner's agent, and myself, reaching out to the neighbor, and he's been unresponsive. So.
Okay. I presume you'll continue to try and do so.
Yeah, it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation where we had applied for the building permit to reconstruct the rear addition. We identified that we were over on FSI. We're here to seek relief from the FSI addition, and so that the building permit can be issued to us, and then through the reconstruction efforts, we'll be able to manage the stormwater on our own property.
Makes sense. Okay, panel, I don't think we need anything further. Let's take this into committee. Does anyone want to take this one on? Is it here?
Sure, I'll do that. This is a very, very minor one, as you pointed out. I don't see any issues with it. I'd like to move a motion to approve with no conditions attached.
All right, motion by Mr. Byatt to approve, seconded by Mr. Ghosh. All in favor? You have your approval. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you, Chair and members.
All right. Okay, item number 2. This is 2925 Dundas Street West and 235 Medland Street, Unit 103. This is an application to alter the existing mixed-use building by converting Unit 103 from non-residential to residential use. Committee has before it a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 2 photographs of the subject property, and correspondence and support from 235 Medland, Unit 103. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Dana Kosich, and I am the owner of Unit 103. Years ago, when I purchased the unit, I did so with the understanding that it was zoned residential commercial. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Did you hear me
I'm just going to
before?
make you say your name again for
Okay.
the record.
My name is Dana Kosich, and I am the owner of Unit 103 within 235 Medland, also known as 2925 Dundas Street
Right.
West. So I'm an original owner. I bought the unit, I can't remember how many years ago, it's maybe almost 20 years ago. Naive, when the developer said this is a unique opportunity, it's both zoned residential and commercial. And it came with a kitchen and it came with a full bath and rough-in for laundry. So I thought, this is great. I'll run my design business here for years and then eventually I'll retire and move in here. It's a beautiful spot in the city. The junction is I've always lived in the junction my entire life. I've watched it have its ebbs and flows. I've witnessed the gentrification and the new life and the energy that's come. And largely that's because of an increase in the residences and the young people that are moving into the neighborhood. It needs the residences, and Toronto in general needs more residential affordable housing. So I'm here today because I want to change the zoning to residential. I think it's what the city needs. And another unit in the same building just to the south of me recently did this exact same thing. So this gave me hope that, yes, this is possible. It can be done. And I think the variances are fairly minor. I think do I need to list what the variances
No,
are?
ma'am. I think we would probably all agree with you. This is a fairly minor application, okay. and it's on a side street off Dundas. So I think unless maybe we'll open it up to questions if anyone has any questions.
I do have,
Bill?
Yeah. So it's a commercial condo, so there's a condo board. Have you spoken to condo managers
Yes.
or the condo board, and are
Yes.
they supportive? Or?
I have informed them. One of the board members actually wrote a letter of support.
Oh, okay.
And but as part of living in a condominium, I have to go through a due process. And once if I do obtain a variance, then the next step is to present that to the board, in which we have to modify or make an amendment to the condominium declaration document. So that's the next step. It is a process. But the feedback I get from my neighbors is that, yeah, they were surprised that it wasn't zoned residential, but it was a surprise to all of us. And it's okay, and I think I'm doing the right thing.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, let's go into committee. Bill, do you want to take this?
Yeah, sure. If it was one of the units fronting right on Dundas, maybe I'd have some hesitation, but if you view this, I agree. It looks like it always should have been residential commercial. I think the variance is very minor. For those reasons, I move to approve it.
All right, motion by Mr. Ghosh to approve, seconded by Mr. Byatt. All in favor? You have your approval. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Our next item is 160 Westlake. This is a application to alter the existing two-story detached dwelling by replacing the rear concrete pad with a new deck. Committee has before it a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 4 photographs of the trees on the subject property. Presentation materials from the agent. We have 2 form letters in support from 164 and 169 Westlake.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm ARDAGH from Replacement Design, located in 160 the Westlake, Etobicoke, representing the owners of 160 Westlake Avenue. Would you like a presentation?
I think it's fairly straightforward, ma'am. And thank you. The presentation materials were helpful in understanding what you're proposing. I don't think we'll need a presentation today. We may have questions, but before we take it into committee, is there anything you'd like to share with the panel members?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Any questions, panel? Zahir?
Yes, please. If I may just ask a quick question. When you remove the concrete pad, will that surface remain permeable subsequent to the deck being built?
The client is requesting the approval because the deck is already built. The client understood that he could build a deck under 60 centimeters above ground without a permit. So he assumed there would be no issues and decided to build it himself. So we are present at the committee because he has now recognized that the deck needs to comply with zoning bylaws after its construction, and he aims to regularize it.
So this is an existing deck, not a new proposal.
Well, it's a new proposal for the permit for permit purposes. But yes, the deck it's already there. It's wood and.
So basically, you're asking for permission to permit the existing deck?
Yes.
So I'm just wondering if the application purpose might need to be altered, because it's talking about to alter the existing by replacing the new concrete pad with a new deck. It suggests, as I read the purpose, it suggests that this hasn't been built yet.
Well, we're here to regularize it now. He talked to the neighbors. He has great support. There were more than 2 letters of support, including the neighbor who is on the side that's closest to the deck.
Sabrina, we might want to change that to permit.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we can amend the purpose to read to permit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just to pick up on my colleague Mr. Byatt's other question, what's under the deck? Is it the former concrete pad, or is it dirt?
It's dirt.
Thanks.
Okay. Anything else? All right, let's take it into committee. So here?
Thank you, Chair. I think it's fairly straightforward. It's just that I noticed that if it was going to be built, I would have asked that the materials below be permeable, and it sounds like the materials below the deck are permeable according to the agent. So this would be an amended application because purpose would be amended. I don't see any issue with it, so I'd like to move approval with no conditions.
All right, motion by Mr. Byatt to approve the amended application, seconded by Mr. Ghosh. All in favor? You have your approval. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we move on to item 4. 180 Yarmouth Road. This is an application to alter the existing 2-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a front basement walkout and reduce the size of the existing front porch with stairs. Committee has before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 2 photographs of the subject property, agent email correspondence with planning staff, and we have a staff report from Urban Forestry.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Charles Chenwai. I'm the agent. I'm at 20 Smithwood Drive, and I'm the agent for the owner.
Thank you, sir. Again, I don't think we need a presentation on this application today. We may have questions. Is there anything you'd like to share with the panel member before we do that?
No, and I'm happy to answer any questions that the panel members may have.
Okay, thank you. Who wants to ask the soft landscaping question? So here.
I think the first thing that jumped out, of course, is you've only got one variance and it's soft landscaping. So I was curious about whether it's an existing circumstance or not. But I noted in your correspondence with planning that this actually is an improvement over what existed before, from 31.57% to 44.3%. So I think that's a great change.
Yes.
Other than that, I don't think there are any issues with this particular application. It's very straightforward. I don't have any concerns with it, and I'd be quite happy to move motion to approve.
Okay, let's go into committee first, and now you go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to move a motion to approve this application, single variance.
All right.
No conditions.
Motion. There is a condition. There's a forestry condition.
Yes, correct. Thank you. Corrected.
Okay.
Forestry one condition.
Motion by Mr. Byatt to approve with that condition, seconded by Mr. Ghosh. All in favor? You have your approval. Thank you.
Thank you, panel committees.
Okay, move on to item number 5. This is 311 Sherbourne Street. This is an application to alter the existing 3-story commercial building containing office uses by converting the west half of the first story and the second and third stories into a hotel use with a common use area located on the ground floor. The existing east half of the building and the existing pharmacy located on the ground floor will be maintained. There will be a total of 46 hotel rooms within this mixed-use building. Committee has before it copy plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, revised site plan, floor plans, and elevations received April 30th, 4 photographs of the subject property, covering letter from the agent, transportation justification letter from the agent, a red line public notice received May 1st, email correspondence from Transportation Services. We have correspondence in concern from the Cabbagetown South Residents Association, and correspondence in opposition from Forum House at Brookfield Place on behalf of Foreign Asset Management.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online, and we do have 3 registered speakers in opposition.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. My name is Jim Sod of Paradigm Architecture and Design at 2198 Gerrard Street East, and I'm speaking today as authorized agent on behalf of our client and the owner of the subject property, Mr. Rami Wazwaz.
Great, sir. As you heard, we have some folks who want to speak on this item, so we'll need a presentation, please.
Yes, sir. I've prepared one here. I'd like to begin by reminding everyone that we are only seeking a minor variance from committee to be excused from having to provide a required loading space, and not also for a change of use from the existing office building and pharmacy to a proposed hostel or hotel, either one being permitted. A hostel or hotel is an as-of-right permitted use within this zone according to the applicable bylaws. And a lot of the contention we're hearing about has to do, I think, with the use proposed, which, again, is not up for, we're not seeking minor variances because we don't have to. This clarification is important to consider relative to letters of concern and objections submitted by 2 independent parties that we are aware of, one being the developer of an 18-story building across the street at 307 Sherbourne, currently under construction, and the other, the Cabbagetown South Residents Association, both of whom were previously contacted by Mr. Wazwaz to have any concerns addressed. Although the Residents Association was receptive to this offer, the neighboring developer Forum was unfortunately not. Aside from an underlying narrative about the change of use proposed for the building, again, nothing that requires permission to be granted for, both letters essentially raise concerns about potential pedestrian safety and traffic congestion. In response to this, I'd first like to point out to the fact If we could stay on that property survey for a second, that would be great. This existing building, constructed in 1975, essentially occupies its entire site from lot line to lot line in both orientations, as you can see, east to west and north to south. If, in fact, a portion of the site was left available to accommodate the required loading space, we most certainly would endeavor to provide it. However, this is simply just not feasible or practical. By maintaining the existing condition whereby there is no loading space, we're neither worsening nor, unfortunately, nor improving the situation in terms of what's there now for safety and traffic congestion. But secondly, larger, less frequent deliveries to and from the building have taken place without a loading space for the past half-century without incident, inclusive of a ground floor pharmacy use, which will continue to exist. Any change to the use proposed for this building would require at least one loading space that still would not be able to be provided on site and result in the need for a minor variance. So the fact that we're requesting a change of use does not excuse that requirement. Unfortunately, there is no other option. Thirdly, it is pertinent to note that this change of use will not require any more frequent deliveries or loading than for the former office use that's been in place since 1975. Unlike most residential dwelling units, the hostel rooms will all be fully furnished, and unlike most hotels, laundering services will be taken care of on site, and there are no food services offered. Deliveries and services via vans and similar-sized smaller vehicles will be accommodated within the underground parking garage, as they have been to date, or on street-side paid parking available along Gerrard Street. The garage also contains a dedicated garbage room, and collection is handled within the property bounds at the top of the driveway ramp. Mr. Wazwaz is very familiar with operating a hostel, currently overseeing another he owns on nearby Selby Street, just southwest of BLOOR and Sherbourne. In response to the Residents Association's concerns and Mr. Wazwaz's sincere efforts to address them, Ward Councillor Moyes dispatched his senior advisor of constituency relations to inspect both the existing hostel as well as the subject building. Following her visit, she issued an email to the Residents Association with very positive feedback about the proposal, including the following statement, quote, "There was also a space for loading and unloading on their parking ramp and next to their building. I am satisfied with Ramey's plans for 311 Sherbourne Street, and I'm excited to see the opening of this hostel when it is ready. This is a welcome business in the ward, especially ahead of FIFA 2026, end of quote. It is also pertinent to note that we submitted a justification letter related to our minor variance application at the request of Transportation Services, outlining all of the above, which also met with their approval. Ultimately, the proposed hostel use is permitted as of right, and this request for relief from a related loading space is minor in nature, desirable for the appropriate use of the structure, maintains the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw, and maintains the general intent and purpose of the official plan. It passes the 4 tests. On this basis, we respectfully request the committee's approval of our application. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And just before we go to the speakers, for the record, you are amending your application from 46 to 39?
That is correct. The original drawings were prepared by another engineer, let's say, another consultant, and upon review, it was not caught during the zoning review. We did catch it ourselves after we were brought into the project. The fact that there were windows proposed along the north existing wall, which, as you can tell, is right up against the property line. And these windows could at any point in time get blocked up by a neighboring building on the northern property should they decide to build lot line to lot line. And that would preclude these units from ever becoming code compliant guest suites is the word I'm looking for. So we decided to remove those windows from the application, and we don't call those hotel rooms anymore.
All right, thank you. Do we have our first speaker?
Mr. Chair, at this time, we'll unmute the owner at 207 Gerrard Street East.
Debbie, you've been unmuted.
Is this James or Debbie?
James, you've been unmuted.
Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate the presentation and the open review some new documents from.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. I don't mean to interrupt, but before you get started, could I just get your name, full name, and address for the record, please?
Oh yes, yes. Hi, my name is James Chow, the owner of 207 Gerard Street.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, thank you for the presentation. The open review of new documents that is being uploaded to the document sections on the website with the letter of concerns and the letter of objections. I'm basically just having the same concerns in regards to both the both item that is being provided. One quick questions. I understand how they load today. Please know that it is also a Gerard Complete Street project that is about to take place on the same street. I believe the intent of the Gerard Complete Street would also not minimize, sorry. It will make some of the drive lane a little bit narrower. Just want to bring this up to the panel's consideration. Would that affect, how existing loading and unloading works on the Gerard Street, okay? That's number one. And number two is I understand that I believe that the person is not asking for minor variance on the hotel use. Does this hotel, what I'm not clear to is, does this hotel allow by hours, or is it always going to be by days?
Okay, sir, we can certainly put that to the agent, but you need, you and others just should understand that the applicant is not seeking a variance for change of use or for using this as a hotel. That is permitted as of right.
Okay, then we can move on from that.
Yeah.
Then I don't have any further questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We have our next speaker.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we'll unmute the owner at 205 Gerard Street East.
Good morning.
Serena, you've been unmuted. Serena, can you please try to speak because you've been unmuted? Through you, Mr. Chair, I will try to give Serena a call.
Okay, do we have the third speaker? Debbie?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we made multiple attempts, but we haven't been able to reach them.
All right, so we'll just just try to get a hold of Ms. Claire. No luck?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we've made multiple attempts to try and call 205 Gerrard Street and 207A Gerrard Street East, and we've been unable to reach them.
Unfortunately, we have to move on, so we'll bring the agent back.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Were you able to hear the first speaker and raising concerns about the impact of the change in loading on Gerrard Street?
Yes, Mr. Chair and committee members, respectfully, I didn't quite hear very clearly, but I think the gist of it was just the concerns about how any future loading operations would continue, you know, and with sensitivity to Gerrard Street. And I don't know how better to reiterate that every attempt is being made to handle deliveries via smaller vehicles that go down into the 14-space parking garage and are unloaded there quite easily. Failing that, we also, well, in addition to that, I should say, not failing it, in addition to that, we have garbage collection that takes place quite simply by rolling bins up from a dedicated garbage room in the parking garage up to the top of the parking garage ramp where private garbage collection is taken care of. That again is easily facilitated on the property, not affecting Gerrard. There is also a right-of-way to the east of the property that's shared with the neighboring property. If absolutely necessary, I would suppose that a larger delivery could take place there for a very limited amount of time to avoid blocking Gerrard Street East. But there are legal paid parking spaces just east of our lot on Gerrard Street East as well. And it's not anticipated that there, you know, unlike dwelling units where there's constant turnover with people moving in and moving out, moving furniture, that won't be the case here. It's all the rooms are furnished, and travelers and guests will be just bringing their luggage, and so there's really, in the essence of it, no change into the loading operations that have taken place here for the last 50 years. So I don't know why it would suddenly be of any concern.
All right, sir. Thank you. Panel, any questions? None. All right, let's take it into committee. Phil?
I think hostile use in this location is a desirable development. It's something we don't have as much of as we could use in the city, and I think the agent did a good job of explaining why the loading impact will be minimal. So for those reasons, I would move to approve it.
The amended application, they've amended the purpose for the number of rooms. Okay, motion by Mr. Ghosh to approve, seconded by Mr. Byatt. All in favor? You have your approval. Thank you. We move on to item number 6, 41 ARDAGH Street. This is an application to alter the existing 2-story detached dwelling by constructing a partial front 1-story addition, which is a porch enclosure, a rear 2-story addition with a covered ground floor deck. Committee has before it a copy plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 11 photographs of the subject property with a covering letter from the agent and a tree site plan. There is correspondence and support from 36 ARDAGH and 28 form letters and support signed by owners, occupants of ARDAGH and Beresford.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have the agent here in person, no registered speakers for this item.
Good morning.
Good morning, I'm Sunny Gervin, agent, 115 River Road, Petersham, Ontario. Good morning, I'm Sunny Gervin, 115 River Road, the agent and applicant. Here on behalf of the owners, Matt and Charlene.
Great, ma'am. You are continuing on with this morning's tradition of having relatively minor variances before the panel. Again, just looking at it, thank you for coming. I don't think we need a presentation today. We may have questions. Is there anything you'd like to share with the panel before we do that?
I don't think so. We did prepare extensively to avoid the need for a presentation. So if that is suiting you, it suits us as well. But I'm here to answer questions and to avoid any not being able to get a hold of me.
Great, thank you. Panel, any questions on this application? Well, you've done a good job in terms of that, so we don't have any questions.
Thank you.
We will take this into committee. Is it here?
Sure. Thank you, Chair. This is, again, one of the very straightforward applications of porch enclosure. 3 variables that are minor in nature, so I'd like to move approval with no conditions attached.
Okay, motion by Mr. Byatt to approve, seconded by Mr. Ghosh. All in favor? You have your approval. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you. Item number 7 has been deferred. We move on to item number 8, which is 225 Jarvis Street. This is an application to alter the development standards of the 49-story mixed-use building approved under site-specific zoning bylaws by increasing the total residential gross floor area from the first story to the 20th story, and also to reduce the number of required parking spaces on site. The total number of hotel suites and residential dwelling units will be maintained. Committee has before it copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, covering letter from the agent, previous decision number affecting the subject property, tree inventory plan, site-specific zoning bylaws affecting the subject property, and an OMB decision. We have email correspondence from Transportation Services and an advisory report from Metrolinx.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have the agent here in person, 1 registered speaker in interest.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Name and address, please.
My name is Richard Dones, GWD Planners. We are planning consultant for Amex on Development Corporation. With me today is Georgia Cernis from Core Architects as well.
Great. Sounds like we have someone who wants to speak to this item, so we'll need a presentation, please.
Certainly. So the nature of the application is to generally to increase the total GFA of the project, including the residential GFA of the project, based on the site-specific approvals granted in 2016 by the OMB. Through that approval was followed up with the site plan application, and no act for the site plan application for this 49-story building was granted in December of 2024, so just a couple of months ago. During the building permit drawing process, certain inefficiencies were identified with the floor plans, which were found, and this application is intended to make modifications to some of the floor plans between stories 1 to 20 of the proposed development. Generally, those would consist of eliminating some unnecessary void spaces, some double vault spaces in the floor plans as well, and increasing amenity spaces, which all had the effect could have the effect of changing the residential GFA in the building. The number of residential units at 580 is proposed to be retained, and the number of hotel suites at 215 is also proposed to be maintained as well. So from a external perspective, there are no building additions proposed. There are no height increases proposed. The aesthetics of the building is proposed to remain the same. All changes that we are proposing, again, are on the floor plan level from 1 to 20. In addition, because this application was initially advanced in 2015 and then approved in 2016 by the OMB, parking requirements of the City of Toronto were much different back at that time. So if we look at if the application was submitted today, we would be looking at maximum parking requirements, whereas in 2015 it was minimum parking requirements. So effectively what we're trying to do as well is to reduce the amount of parking on site given the transit-rich nature of this site and reflect today's parking standards in Bylaw 569 as amended by Bylaw 89/2022. So that would effectively reduce the amount of parking by about 350 spaces, still complying with the Bylaw 569 as amended today, but not the site-specific. So happy to answer any other questions you might have. If there's any questions specifically on floor plans, Georgia would be able to answer those for you.
So you are gaining an additional 4,000 square meters in GFA by doing internal reconfiguration.
Correct.
Did I hear you say something about amenity space? I'm sorry. You did mention, are you reducing, keeping the same, or increasing?
So we'd be increasing the amenity space. When the building was designed initially, we had some double height spaces for some mechanical rooms or equipment rooms and storage rooms that we ultimately don't require. So by infilling that space and growing some of the unit sizes, we're adding some residential GFA, and then the additional amenity space is also going in that center portion. So as Richard said, the exterior envelope of the building, the mass of the building, the heights, the extents do not change. We're just taking some of the space that was underutilized in the middle of the building and giving it to the residents.
Right. And the unit mix is?
Same.
Same as it was? Okay. All right, we do have one speaker. Do you want to go now, Phil, or can you wait?
Yeah, either way, it's...
Go ahead.
I just, well, because it's on the same sort of point about floor plans. Are you an architect or?
Yes.
Okay. I think the question I have is, what are the mechanical spaces that are being eliminated? Because that can, I've seen buildings that have insufficient mechanical accommodation have problems.
So I mean, we're well through the detailed design and working drawings. We've submitted a permit for this project as well. A lot of the spaces were allocated at the SPA or zoning stage as placeholders, just making sure that we had enough space for these mechanical systems. As they've gone through and done the design for the mechanical, they've recognized that they don't need as many spaces or the height of the space clearances that we had. So in some of the mechanicals, we had allocated 3 floors of volume for these spaces, and they really only need to fit the equipment in 1. So those other 2 floors now become available for the residents.
Okay, so it's more about size of equipment, it's less about...
Yeah, like all of the required mechanical spaces to function, both the hotel as one piece and then the condo will have its rooftop of mechanical, so all the stuff in the middle is really for managing the hotel, and that's all been accommodated in the current plans without affecting those spaces. So they're still there. They're just more efficiently planned.
Okay, great. Who's the mechanical engineer?
MV Shore.
Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, we do have a speaker, do we?
3, Mr. Chair, will unmute the owner at 181 Dundas Street East.
I really do not want to hang on to them.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
You sent them an email or not yet?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Having difficulty. Sorry, ma'am. I don't mean to interrupt, ma'am. I'm sorry. We're just having a little difficulty.
There was only one that you gave exception. Thinking out of town, like they'll be back later this month. Yeah. Okay, so it's only one that I'm aware of. Yes, but I feel like that was a more recent one. So
hello, Hannah?
Is she on another line?
I think so. Hello, Hannah?
No, this is not, it's not me.
Or mute her? Through you, Mr. Chair, we're going to try calling her because she might be on another line.
Okay.
Just don't want to mess with them. But yeah, I'll try to return them too. Okay, so for example, 5303.
Does she know that we're trying to reach her? Or is she otherwise engaged?
We're gonna send her an urgent email just to let her know that we're waiting to hear from her.
Okay.
I'll give you a signal. Thank you so much.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we're going to attempt to call one more time and then we'll have to move on.
All right.
Already picked up the fob.
Hello, Hannah?
Jesus installs this, so we provide the new one.
No.
Usually
All right, we will move on. The record will show we tried many times to reach this individual. So, panel, is there any further questions of the speakers? Okay, let's take it into committee. Seems a fairly straightforward application. Yes, Phil?
Yeah, I'll move to approve it. The parking variance, especially in light of how regulations have changed since this was initially approved, is obviously minor. The GFA change, any concern I have about reducing mechanical isn't really a zoning issue. So from a zoning perspective, adding internal additional residential GFA is minor, and no change to the building envelope. So for those reasons, I would move to approve it.
Okay, motion by Mr. Ghosh to approve, seconded by Mr. Byatt. All in favor? You have your approval. Thank you for coming down. All right. Nazila, are you ready to participate in this next item? You're logged on and everything? Is your camera on? Oh, there you are. Okay. We are joined by Nazila West for the duration of today's agenda. We move on to item number 9, 217 Pickering Street. This is an application to alter the existing two-story detached dwelling by constructing a rear one-story addition, including a basement level and walkout, and with a wood deck and stairs. Committee has before it a copy plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 4 photographs of the subject property, and an arborist report.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have the agent online. No registered speakers for this item.
All right. Mr. Bongers.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. My name is Rick Bongers, address 75 Redwood Avenue, Cambridge, Ontario.
Hang on a sec, sir. Panel, does anyone need a presentation on this application? Sir, we don't need a presentation today. We've read your application. We're familiar with the material. Is there anything you'd like to share with the panel before we take it into committee for a decision?
Nope, but I'm going to answer any questions you may have.
Great. Panel, any questions? There are no questions. We will take it into committee. Who wants to, is it here? Did you want this one?
Yes, thank you, Chair. This is a very application with only 3 variances, all of which are very minor in nature. And there are no other conditions attached to this particular application, so I'd like to move approval with no conditions.
All right, motion by Mr. Byatt to approve, seconded by Mr. Ghosh. All in favor? You have your approval, sir. Thank you. Item number 10, 17 Dunloe Road. This is an application to alter the existing 2.5-story detached dwelling by constructing a side 1-story addition to contain a mudroom. Also to relocate the existing ancillary structure to be located in line with the rear wall. Committee has before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevation, 4 photographs of trees on the subject property, and staff report from urban forestry.
For you, Mr. Chair, we do have the agent. No registered speakers for this item.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and committee members. My name is Paul Scarafile from 1460 the Queensway. I'm the agent on the file.
Great, sir. I think we'll start off by asking you whether you've seen the forestry staff report seeking a deferral of this application.
Yes, that was submitted on the 5th. We tried reaching out to forestry on yesterday, the 6th, and did receive comment back that they're going to talk to the assistant planner on the file. But what we're addressing, like if I can just speak to the issue with the moving of the auxiliary structure.
Right.
It's basically, it's a pool equipment room that's on a slab on grade. The west portion, 4 foot of the west portion is being relocated to the east side. We're basically taking the slab on grade, reintroducing pavers, and putting the slab on the opposite side. It's all hardscape already, so there's no damage to any kind of ridge zone for the tree that they had in question. Like if you were to look at their report, you would see, like right now, the auxiliary structure, if you look at the aerial of that, the aerial, where that tree is in question, we're ready, like, yeah, the root zone is 3.6 meters from the ravine. We're nowhere near that, and it's already hardscape in that area. So I don't think we're going to need anything. We will address it with them. We'll, as a condition, we will meet with them, make sure everything is proper. But currently, there's no, like, the structure exists, right? That's.
So are you planning to do any work that might injure that tree?
No.
And you're not removing it?
No. That's on the neighbor's property.
Okay. All right, panel, any questions?
Sure. Yeah, so the shed is not going to have any foundation at all?
It's slab on grade. Okay. It's no foundation. It's a wood shed structure.
That's existing, did you say?
It's existing. We're basically taking off 4 feet on the west side in order to have access to the rear yard once the addition is built. Right? The east side of that existing shed, it basically houses pool equipment right now. So we don't want to excavate or anything like that, or else we'd be damaging the pool equipment room. You'll see the shed is a simple, and it's basically, we're not changing the look of the existing shed. We're just shifting it over.
Okay, anyone else?
Just a quick one.
Yeah, if you zoom in on the right-hand side there, you probably catch, on that photo that you had on the screen.
If I may just quickly ask.
The rear. Yeah, in the rear yard. No, down. Sorry.
So it's that big tree on the right?
Zoom in there.
It's that tree on the right.
No, it's further to the right. Like you're just seeing the branches in the foreground on the left-hand side of the photo.
Oh, there. Okay.
Yeah, see the sheds there? Like you can see the shed, that shed exists. And there's actually the 4 feet that we're talking, like there's a shower, there's an existing shower on attached to that shed, outdoor shower. That's what we're filling in to house the storage, to house a lawnmower, basically.
So here, do you have a question?
Yeah, just a quick question. So, assuming this application is approved, would you still require permission to move forward from forestry to make sure that no damage is done?
Sorry. It says that we would need to apply. I've reached out to them because I don't think they've gone to the back to see the structure that's there existing, but we will do what we need to do with forestry. We'll apply, but we're not really injuring anything. We're applying for something really that we're not going to be injuring.
Right. So you will need to put in an application at some point, and if they deem
we will.
It's okay, fine. If not, presumably you won't get the approval.
For that, like we just won't add the additional 4 feet. We'll just keep the housing of the existing pool equipment. We'll just take away the storage portion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone else? All right, let's go into committee. What do you guys think?
I think it's nothing that can't be addressed if we impose the forestry condition number 2 and the alternative. And the rest of it seems quite minor. It's a very small side yard variance. Still a fair bit of space between it and the next building.
Yeah, the forestry's advisory comments make it abundantly clear that there may be need for adjustments to accommodate the tree, and if we put that condition in, Phil, as you say, I think those discussions will be undertaken, and any mitigating measures would be undertaken in order to achieve approval. So, okay, does anyone want a motion?
Sure, I'll just move it and just refer to my earlier comments as the rationale for moving to approve this subject to forestry number 2.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Ghosh to approve subject to forestry 2, seconded by Ms. West. All in favor? You have your approval subject to forestry condition. Thank you. Item number 11. 57 Bartlett Ave. This is an application to alter the existing 2-story townhouse dwelling by constructing a rear 2nd-story addition cantilevered at the rear portion. Committee has before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 2 photographs of the front and rear yard of the subject property, and a covering letter from the agent.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have the agent here in person. We also have 1 registered speaker in opposition online.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Name and address, please.
My name is Marek Gabris, and I'm the agent or applicant for this application.
Okay, and your colleague?
My colleague is the owner.
Okay. Your name and address, ma'am?
It's Andrea Calver, 57 Bartlett Avenue.
Thank you. All right. You've heard we've got someone who wants to speak on this item, so we'll need a short presentation, please.
Yes, the project includes the construction of the second-story rear addition. It's actually extension to the existing two-story row townhouse. And the project seeks two minor variances, which is gross floor area and the minimum distance between the main walls from the side property line.
That's it, okay. Anything further?
Well, I think it's pretty much straightforward. It's an extension of the second story.
Okay.
And going to the back, so we are not affecting any street view. And the extra square footage, we consider it's really minor.
And the second story is over an existing one story that's already there?
Yes, exactly, yeah. So it's cantilevered a little bit like.
Okay. Panel, any questions before we hear from the speaker? All right, we have someone who wants to speak on this item.
Through you, Mr. Chair, at this time we'll unmute the owner at 59 Bartlett Avenue.
Good morning, Mr. Singh.
Hello, good morning. Owner of 59 Bartlett. I think I've got
Sorry. Your full name, just for the record, please.
Robert Singh.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I think I've got my question answered because I was worried that they'll be digging to accommodate a basement, but apparently not.
I see some shaking heads from the agent. They are not planning to excavate.
Okay, well, I'm fine.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. I don't think you need to respond to that. Maybe if there's any further questions, panel, we'll take this into committee. Who wants this? Nazila?
Yes. Through you, Mr. Chair. This is a very straightforward application. Therefore, I would like to put forward a motion to approve this application with no condition.
All right. Motion to approve by Ms. West, seconded by Mr. Ghosh. All in favor? You have your approval. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you very much.
All right. We move on to item number 12. 96 Edwin Avenue. This is an application to alter the existing two-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a front second-story dormer, a rear one-story addition, a second-story addition with a deck, and a ground-level deck. Committee has before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 4 photographs of the subject property, comparables submitted by the agent. We have a staff report from Metrolinx. There is 13 signature petition in support from owners occupants of Alpine and Edwin Avenues, 2 form letters in support from 94 and 98 Edwin Avenue.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent here in person, no registered speakers for this item.
Good morning, sir. Name and address, please. Is your microphone on? Red button?
Now it is.
There you go.
Duncan Patterson, 293 Wallace Avenue. I'm the registered agent.
Thank you, sir. You're only seeking a very modest increase in FSI today.
Yes.
I don't think then we'll need a presentation. The committee members have read your application. We're familiar with the materials. They may have questions. Is there anything you'd like to add or anything you'd like to share?
I'm just here to answer questions.
Okay. Panel, is there any questions on this application? Is it here?
Yes, Chair. If I may just ask, you've got the second floor deck at the rear. It seems that there may be privacy overlook on, I think it's the east and west sides?
No, it would be the north, I think.
The north side?
Yeah.
Sorry. So I was just looking at A2.2 and A2.3.
Sorry. Mr. Chair, it's actually on the south would be the privacy issue.
On the south?
Yeah.
Okay. So on, just wondering if we could have, if you'd be okay with the privacy screen condition to 1.5 meters?
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's going to be on the north and south sides, or east, which?
I think just on the south side would be required.
South side?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? All right, we'll take this into committee. Zahir, do you want to take this one?
Sure, thank you. This is a very a minor application, single variance, very small ask. The only condition that I would attach is that there be privacy screening attached to the second floor rear deck on the
south side.
South side. Thank you.
All right, motion to approve with that condition by Mr. Byatt. Do I have a seconder? Ms. West, all in favor? You have your approval. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
Okay, we move on to item number 13, 97 WOODYCREST Ave. This is an application to alter the existing 2.5-story detached dwelling by constructing a rear 3rd-story addition with a balcony. Committee has before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 2 photographs on the subject property. We have staff report from Metrolinx and from Community Planning.
Through Mr. Chair, we do have the agent online, no registered speakers for this item.
Okay.
Michael, you've been unmuted.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. My name is Michael Shazafar, and I'm the agent on behalf of the homeowners at 97 WOODYCREST.
Okay. Hang on a sec, sir. Again, this is a fairly straightforward application. Panel, does anyone need a presentation? Sir, we don't need a presentation this morning on your application. Committee members have read it. They're familiar with what's in it. Is there anything you'd like to share with the panel before we move on?
Not at this time, unless the committee members have any questions.
Have you seen planning's report seeking privacy screen?
We have, and we have no issue with that.
All right. Any questions, panel? No questions. All right, let's go into committee. Phil?
Yeah, my only question was going to be the same, whether they had any issues with the planning proposed condition. They don't. This is a very small variance application for a reasonable addition. For those reasons, I would move to approve it, subject to the planning condition.
All right, motion by Mr. Ghosh to approve, seconded by Ms. West. All in favor? You have your approval. Thank you. I'm going to suggest we take a short break. We return like 10 to 11 or 5 to 11? Sure. Thanks.
On that note, I enjoyed the presentation for the transportation when we had a recent training. He seems a little uncertain about parking minimum speed limit. Yeah. But everyone's entitled to an opinion.
Very nice coffin. I love it.
Thank you.
What is it? Is it a sign for the city?
For Canada.
For Canada?
It's the Canadian coat of arms.
Wow, where did you get it?
I think at an antique sale.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
I feel like it's like because I couldn't see from far.
Yeah, it's Canada if it has a unicorn on one side and a lion on the other. Yeah,
This one has Canada.
Yeah, this is Canada.
You're very stylish.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow, very nice.
I have a whole collection of cufflinks. I like to, if I'm going to dress up.
It's beautiful. I think that's the best thing the man should wear, like cufflinks, maybe pocket squares.
Exactly.
I like
exactly. I have different ones for different occasions.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. So this one I've been wearing recently, just because
very nice.
Our trade war with the U.S.
Oh.
Like in supporting Canada.
I see people wear different things. I see people.
All right, we continue with item number 14, 1913 to 1951 Yonge Street and 17 to 21 MILLWOOD Road and 22 Davisville Avenue. This is an application to alter the development standards for a mixed-use building by reducing the number of parking spaces required. Committee has before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 17 photographs of the subject property, covering letter from the agent, arborist report, a parking study, presentation materials from the agent, tree inventory plan and preservation plan, and site-specific zoning bylaw affecting the subject property, along with an OLT decision. We have email correspondence from Heritage Services, Transportation Services, and Community Planning.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have the agent here in person, no registered speakers for this item.
Good morning.
Morning.
Name and address, please.
Shaliza Rajan, 3 Church Street, Suite 200, City of Toronto.
Okay. Hang on a second. You did submit some presentation materials. It looks quite short, so why don't you very quickly take us through that?
Sure, yeah. So I'm here today to speak to an application to permit revisions to the parking standards for the approved mixed-use development at 1913 to 1951 Yonge Street, 22 Davisville, and 17 to 21 MILLWOOD Road. On behalf of the owners of the site, the application seeks to apply the new city-wide parking residential rates in terms of maximum rates instead of minimums. Next slide, please. Just zoom into the OP slides, OP images. Or just flip back to them whenever you're ready, just the official plan. There we go. So as shown on the screen, the subject site is located, there we go, along Yonge Street, which is an avenue. It is also a designated mixed-use area. The subject site is 80 meters from Davisville subway station. Just slide down a little to the site history. Thank you. In terms of site history, a rezoning application was submitted in 2017 and 2020. The rezoning application was appealed to the OLT and approved in August 2022. Citywide parking standards were also updated in 2022, and through the enactment of Bylaw 89/2022, City Council removed parking minimums for residential and non-residential uses. Since the issuance of the OLT approved site-specific bylaw, detailed design of the proposal has advanced, and a site plan application was submitted in July 2023. This application and an accompanying lifting of the H application are currently under review by city staff. Next slide, please. The development here also includes conservation of the Heritage Building at 1913 Yonge Street, a new privately owned, publicly accessible space, a mid-block connection between Davisville Avenue and MILLWOOD Road, new retail spaces oriented towards Yonge Street, and over 800 new housing units, which will be provided as purpose-built rental units. Overall, the proposal will contribute to the vibrancy of the neighborhood, will animate the public realm, and will create a new housing opportunities with convenient access to high-order transit. Just slide down to the requested variance. There's only one requested variance today. The variance applies the new city-wide residential parking rates to the site. The variance would remove the minimum parking requirements per the site-specific bylaw and introduce the new city-wide maximum parking rates. Residential parking on the site will continue to be provided. As noted on the screen, there are 248 residential parking spaces continuing to be provided. In summary, we believe this application meets the 4 tests of the Planning Act. The proposed reduction to required parking rates is consistent with the official plan. It reduces automobile dependency in an area that has access to higher order transit. It's an application of the new citywide zoning standards. And overall, it's a desirable and appropriate change for this use of land.
Great, thank you. Panel, any questions? Oh, sorry, you weren't finished?
Yeah, one more thing. So application number 8 this morning, 225 Jarvis Street, also did the same thing already. So
okay.
I'm number 2 this morning.
Okay, thanks. This isn't really related to your variance, but I noticed that your application assembles a number of properties, but excludes the property right on the northeast corner of Davisville and Yonge. that deliberate, or you weren't able to assemble that property?
Yeah, the rezoning predates my time as a planner a little bit, but that's my understanding.
Okay. Just seems unusual. Yes, Phil.
I similarly have a bit of an unrelated question, but I'm curious to know what the H was put on for.
Oh, the removal of the OLT conditions.
Oh, I see.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any further questions? I think this is fairly straightforward. I'll take it into committee.
Sure. Yeah, I'll move to approve it. Yeah, the change to reduce the parking in large redevelopment literally across the street from a subway station makes sense to me. Subject to the planning condition.
And what was the planning condition, Phil?
Just that it be consistent with the site plan.
All right, okay. All right, motion by Mr. Ghosh to approve, subject to planning's condition. Do I have a seconder? Mr. Byatt, all in favor? Thank you for coming down. You have your approval.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good morning.
Okay. This is the last item of this morning's agenda. Item 15. 80 Lamb Avenue. This is an application to alter the existing two-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a rear two-story addition with a rear ground floor level deck and stairs and a rear second-story balcony. Also to construct a new two-story ancillary building containing one laneway suite with a rear second-story balcony and a rooftop equipment area in the rear yard abutting the laneway. There will be a total of 2 residential dwelling units, one within the main dwelling and one within the ancillary building on this lot. Okay, do we have the agent?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we'll need to read in the materials that have been submitted.
Oh, beg your pardon. I'm so excited about getting done early. The committee has before a copy of the plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevation, 6 photographs of the subject property. We have staff report from community planning, 4 form letters in support from owners, occupants of 70, 71, 82, and 80. And 92 Lamb Avenue, and correspondence in opposition from 76 Lamb.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have the agent online as well as 1 registered speaker in opposition online.
Okay, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Name and address, please, sir.
My name is Kunal Mohan. My address is 80 Lamb Avenue.
All right, sir. Before we start, we have someone who wants to speak on this item, but before we start, have you seen the planning staff report recommending refusal of your application?
Yes, I have, and I spoke to Cameron yesterday about their concerns. It was a good discussion. I understand where they're coming from.
Sorry, sir. Just if you could just either come closer to the mic or speak up a little bit, please.
Sure. Yes, I spoke to Cameron from community planning yesterday. I understand where they're coming from, and I think they also understand my design intent. I think I'd like to continue with the committee meeting, and you know, I think the opinion of community planning was their concerns about the separation distances for items 2 and 4, branches 2 and 4, and it's, you know, it's my intention to maintain the bylaws separation distances, but it's sort of what I'm seeking variance for.
Sorry, sir, just so I'm clear, so you've seen planning report, but you'd like to proceed with your application as is this morning?
Yes.
Okay. All right, then, sir, we'll need a presentation because there is someone who wishes to speak to this item.
Okay. Do I share my screen, or will...
Have you got a presentation?
I only have the sort of documents that were submitted with my plans. At the end of my submission documents, there are sketches that speak to the variances. So, yeah, in short, I purchased this house in November 2021. I'm an architect. I'm, very excited to build a laneway house. There is another laneway house on this lane, and I know several of my neighbors are also expressing interest in building laneway houses. I will also just add that there were 4 more letters of support that I received and submitted, but they were submitted as part of extra late materials. The variances that I'm seeking are one, exemptions from the setback limits, horizontal limits on elements for the functional operation of the building. The reason I am seeking a variance for this is simply to have the stairwell on the north side of the building rather than in the center of the building. Having a stairwell in the center of a floor plan quite sort of disruptive to the functioning of that floor plan. So I've maintained the horizontal limits on 3 sides. I'm seeking exemption from the horizontal limit on the north side. My neighbor on the north, 82 Lamb, has seen the plans and has given a letter of support. And they would be the ones who would be most affected by the shadows of this enclosed stairwell that's meant for roof access for heat pumps, ventilation units, solar hot water heaters, or such things for the functional operation of the building. The second, or it's sort of 2 variances that are generally about the same thing on sketch 3. So I've shown in sort of a red outline what's permitted as of right, which is a 2-story rear addition and a laneway suite that steps back at the 2nd floor to maintain the separation distances of 5 meters and 7.5 meters. What I've designed is to step back the rear addition instead of setting back the laneway suite in order to sort of maintain the intent of the zoning bylaw, which is sort of access to sky and sunlight. So the sky areas are the same in sort of what's allowed as of right and what I'm proposing. And I'm hoping that to get the separation distances measured from the rear of the laneway suite towards the rear addition rather than the measured from the rear of the addition towards the laneway suite. I think that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Panel, any questions before we hear from the speaker?
Just a quick one. So you're the designer and the owner of this proposed laneway suite?
Yes.
And are you an architect or some other type of design professional?
I'm an intern architect. I hope
an intern architect.
Yeah. Intern architect. But yeah, I do work with architects.
Okay, and who will be preparing the drawings for building permit? Will you have someone else sign off on them, or do you have a BCIN?
I will get my my boss, who's a licensed architect, to review and stamp the drawings.
Okay, thanks.
All right, we have a speaker.
For you, Mr. Chair, we'll unmute the owner at 76 Lamb Avenue.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Evelyn Parascos. I'm from 76 Lamb Avenue. It's actually adjacent to 80 Lamb. I'm not sure where 78 Lamb went, but it is a property directly south of the current property. And I just wanted, thank you for taking my call. I just want to reiterate my concerns specifically about the separation distance. So the way the canal has set up his laneway suite, it's pushed in from the laneway at the back, and it decreases the separation distance between the 2 buildings. this would make it incredibly obtrusive. It would just hover over, and like he's building the rear lane building, he's building it from lot line to lot line, so there's no setback. So it would just be this mammoth in the backyard. And I have grave concerns about that. I don't believe that the requested variances are at all minor, and there's absolutely no need for them.
Okay. Anything else, ma'am?
No, those are my main concerns.
Okay.
Thank you.
Panel, any questions of the speaker? None? All right, let's bring the agent back.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So yeah, hi Evelyn. So yeah, Evelyn and I have spoken twice. You know, make sure that she's aware of what's happening. As I don't want to do anything, you know, without her being aware. To address her comments, yes, I have set the laneway suite back from the rear lot line. I believe the required minimum is 1 meter. I set it back 3 meters just to create a larger green space that faces the laneway. This property faces a park, and I'm hoping to create a sort of front yard condition for the laneway house in order to separate that dwelling sort of entirely from the main dwelling, so that the backyard between the laneway and the rear is more preserved for the main house, and the laneway house then has some access to green space and would you know, bring some greenery to the laneway as well. So that's my intention as to why I've moved it back. I understand it does bring it further into the property, but this property is quite deep, so I'm still able to maintain a sort of 5 meter and 7.5 meter separation between the rear and the laneway, which is, you know, what is sort of minimum by the zoning bylaw.
Okay, sir, but you do understand that if you were to orient your suite closer to the laneway, you might not need variances. You understand that?
I understand that, and I've talked to planning about that as well.
Okay, because the variance you're seeking is a distance variance from the main dwelling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but this is what you want to go with.
Yeah, I just feel it's you know, it's a good design for those reasons I've stated, and if the committee feels, you know, strongly opposed, you know, I can look into sort of making changes and looking at reducing certain aspects of the design to you know, make the separation wider.
Okay, thank you.
I hope to get approval as is. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Panel, any questions? Phil?
I have a concern when I see stairs going all the way up to a rooftop as to the use of that and purpose of that. So can you maybe speak to why you have those stairs going to the roof?
Yeah. So as I was reviewing the zoning bylaw, in sort of there's a section about elements that are allowed on a roof and the height, permitted height of those elements and the, you know, permitted setback of those elements. They are for the functional operation of buildings, such as, you know, mechanical units or like solar panels or things like that. It also seemed like a kind of opportunity to bring more daylight into the building, at the same time as serving the function of access for maintenance or heat pumps and things. I haven't shown it on the plan, but you know, I am interested in some solar technologies that would help bring the help bring this building a little closer to net zero. But I don't think I have enough roof area for that. But even a little bit would help, and any of those would stay within the horizontal limit. So I have a tiny bit of roof area for those, but that's the intent of the staircase.
Okay, and so there's no intent to ever turn that into a rooftop deck or patio?
No, it's just for access to equipment.
And to serve as a light well?
Yes, and that as well.
So, sir, just to follow up on that, so your drawings don't show any heat pump or solar panels there now, right? I mean, I appreciate that but your plans aren't showing any of that.
I do show heat pump on the
A106.
601.
Sorry, A106?
Yeah, just to the right-hand side of the bubble.
Oh, that tiny little thing?
Yeah.
Aren't heat pumps bigger than that? I don't know anything about heat pumps.
No. There's also an ERV, but I haven't determined where the ERV would be. I mean, storage is an issue in these buildings. There's very limited storage space. So, you know, I put a hot water tank in a little tiny corner. Maybe the ERV fits above it, but it may need to go on the roof as well.
Okay. So sounds like there's some things that you haven't yet finalized.
No, but I'll be refining the design towards building permit.
Okay. Panel, any other questions? Okay, we'll take it into committee. Phil?
Yeah, I'm going to start off with what might be a bit of a controversial take amongst panel members, but I disagree with the planning staff report, and I'll give the reason why. The planning staff report refers to the official plan and how the official plan requires us to consider the surrounding context of the neighborhood, mentions that it fronts onto Lamb Street. No mention in the planning staff report, or nothing that I can see, that it considers the fact that this is actually a very unique laneway site fronting onto a park. The word park doesn't appear in the planning staff report. And I think that that is relevant to this laneway suite. When we think of the sunlight on the surrounding properties, the fact that all of these properties back onto a park, sense of air, separation, the things that the separation distance would go to, I think are greatly mitigated by the fact that it backs onto a park. And then similarly, in terms of the resident that did have concerns, I note that her home is directly to the south of this, so the sunlight would be less of a concern. It's already a fairly constrained backyard, but again, has access to the park amenity behind. So I actually look at this as a good use of the space. I think a laneway suite should be lining this park, probably up and down this laneway. And I don't see the difference between 7.5 meters and 5 meters in this context as being as much of a factor as it would be in other contexts.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Is it here?
Thank you, Chair. Contrary to my colleague, I think it's, I appreciate the applicant's explanation about placing the laneway suite further back from the laneway itself, setting it closer to the main structure. I think both the variances that planning has asked us to refuse, 1 and 3, you're looking at 1.3 meters, and the agent sets the structure set back 3 meters. If it pushed the structure back 1.3 meters, you wouldn't need those 2 variances at all. Well, the height would still be there. The height issue, I'm not too excited about it, but I don't think it's a major issue. But the distance from the main structure, I think, is problematic. You could have made that go away quite easily. And to the neighbor to the south, I believe, or on the one side, having the structure pulled forward presents a little, somewhat of a massing effect. It's not the sunlight as much as massing when it could be pushed back. So I'm not in support of this application as it stands. I would apply planning's condition to refuse.
Okay. I'm going to agree with Mr. Byatt on this one. I agree that about the setback issue, and I'll actually link it to one of Phil's points. You made the point that there is a park behind, and that's a good thing in terms of impact. And because there's a park behind, I see no reason why you need the additional or incremental setback, the 3-meter setback. I think you would benefit from the parkland, the vistas, and the open space equally if you met the setback requirements under the bylaw. It's not like there's garages on the other side or houses on the other side of that laneway. So I'm questioning the rationale for bumping it back in this instance. Frankly, if it was compliant with the setback and the separation distance, the height wouldn't be a variance, and they could proceed. So I'm not going to support it because I think that a revised application that conforms with the bylaws would actually meet the client's objectives, meet the bylaw, and frankly help the neighbor to the south, because it would push that structure deeper into the lot. So I'm not going to support it as proposed. Okay, anyone want to make a motion?
Sure, Chair, let me put forward a motion. I'd like to move a motion to refuse this application.
Do I have a seconder? I will second that. All in favor? Okay, it looks like we have 2 people in support, so I will abstain to avoid a tie, and that motion fails. I'll look for Phil for another motion.
Yes, I'll move to approve it. Mentioned before, I don't believe that the separation distance in this context is a significant impact on the surrounding environment. For those reasons, I move to approve it, and there are no conditions.
Okay, motion by Mr. Ghosh to approve. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Ms. West. All in favor? Opposed? And I will abstain to avoid a tie. So that motion is approved. The application, motion passes. The application is approved. Okay. We concludes this morning's session. We will be back at 2. Okay, we'll be back at 2 o'clock. Thank you all.